My baby is a whole 6 months old. You are half a year old. You're such a big girl. You're such a big girl. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my name's Jenny and this is baby Georgia. And that is Arnold the Praying Penguin, of course. But as I said, my baby is 6 months old. I cannot believe it. And as newish parents, we are always looking for new ways that we can pray with her and build those really firm foundations in faith for her. Praying together, reading the Bible, going to church, those really good habits that we can get into while she's this age so she can grow up experiencing those things, learning those things, and being firmly rooted in faith. So today I wanted to share some of the ways that we found really helpful to pray with her from the ages of 3 months up to 6 months, where she is now.
Mom?
Yes? Are we going to show them how we pray? Are we going to show them how we pray? Yes. So our first idea is prayer activities. So over the last 3 months, we've had Thy Kingdom Come, where I set up 2 interactive prayer stations in our church for people to come and pray with. And I also led the prayers at our family service one Sunday. And for both of these things, I wanted to come up with prayer activities that Georgia could engage with in some way. Not necessarily fully understanding and being able to take part in all of it, but actually something that would capture her attention in some way at least. So one of the ways that I did this was we made a kind of sensory dark room. We made a dark kind of den with blankets and cushions and made it really as dark as we possibly could in the middle of the day, and we put in little tea lights and fairy lights so she could kind of see the lights and that other people could take part and look at these lights. And the idea was they were reflecting on how Jesus is the light of the world and how we can also be lights and share his light with other people. But it was also something that I knew that Georgia would find interesting to look at. She could kind of see those lights, and I knew that that kind of captured her attention in some way. And the other idea that I used both for leading intercessions in our family service and as our other prayer station. And this was using map prayers. So for the prayer station, we had a big map of the world laid out on the ground and small cars and little aeroplanes that people could fly or drive around the world to a different country. They could park up their car on that country and pray for that place. So obviously this is very visual, very easy to kind of look at, and for Georgia to kind of see what's going on and to be able to kind of push the little car around. Obviously she needed our help to be able to do that and to move the cars and stuff, but she still managed to kind of look at things and kind of be interested in what was going on. And then when I used that kind of same idea in our family service, we had a blow-up globe that we would throw and people would catch it, and then whatever country their hand was on when they caught it, that was the country that we prayed for. And again, this is very visual, very bright colours for her to kind of see this globe moving and to kind of point at things on the globe. And again, this isn't necessarily about her understanding exactly what it is we're praying for or what we're doing. This is to kind of just start engaging her in prayer in some way, tailoring these prayer activities, the things that are going to be visually interesting to her. Our second idea is to use the Lord's Prayer in your bedtime routine. And now I touched on bedtime routines in my video about how to pray with a newborn baby. So if you have a newborn, you might want to check out that video first. But at that point, we didn't really have an established bedtime routine at all. We've only really developed that in the past couple of months. So at this point, we do have a bit more of a structured bedtime. We read books together, we pray together, we sometimes sing together depending on kind of what mood she's in, and then she goes to bed. It's not exactly an elaborate routine, very simple routine that we do each time before she goes to bed. But we've started to incorporate prayer into that routine, and part of that is using the Lord's Prayer. Because this is a prayer we want her to grow up knowing and to be able to use no matter where she is or how old she is. This is something that hopefully she will always remember. Just as I grew up learning this prayer at church and at school, and I can still remember it all perfectly well now. And when we're doing this as part of her bedtime routine, we usually do it, me, my husband and her, all together. And we also use the actions for the Lord's Prayer that I know from Messy Church and from BRF. And I'll leave a link to a video down in the description that shows you all of the actions for the Lord's Prayer. But we just do these with her, one of us demonstrating the actions and one of us usually kind of holding her hands and helping her kind of do vaguely what the actions are, if she'll let us. Our third tip is to write a special prayer for your child. Now again, this is something that we incorporate into our bedtime routine, but it's also something that I can use anytime really. Anytime that I want to pray with her or for her, this is a prayer that I turn to quite often. You may have heard of Milena Cicciotti here on YouTube. She recently gave birth to her third baby, and she wrote a prayer for herself as a mother and for her 3 kids, and this really inspired me to do something similar but slightly different and write a prayer specifically for Georgia. And this is something that is already really special and really important and personal to me and her. It's something that I spent a lot of time kind of praying over what I wanted that prayer to include. So the prayer that we pray for her is, "Dear God, thank you for Georgia. We pray that she changes the world in big ways and little ways with kindness, boldness and joy. Amen." And I think it can be really special to kind of create this prayer that is very, very personal to your child, that you are praying for them in particular. And I do recommend spending that time in your own prayer, asking God what it is that you should be praying for this baby. What does God have planned in their life? And our 4th tip is to pray for what you see. Now this is a kind of prayer idea that I use quite a lot when we're at church, and if Georgia's got a little bit tired or grumpy and we need to kind of have a walk around or wander around outside, especially during the prayer time. I don't want us to just not pray at all just because we're missing the prayers that are going on inside the church. I still want to be taking part in that part of the church service. So what I often do is, as we're walking around, we'll pray for the things that we see around us and use that to inspire our prayers. But you could also do this just while you're out for a walk or just in your own home. And this could be as simple as just thanking God for the plants that you walk past, or praying for the people who are still in the church that you're walking around, or praying for the birds that you see flying overhead. Really, really simple prayers, just seeing something in front of you and praying for it. And I hope by doing this and continuing this habit, this is kind of just teaching her that prayer is something that we can do anywhere and everywhere, and we can pray for absolutely anything. Prayer isn't restricted to just look like one thing or be done in one place. Let me know down in the comments how you pray with your 3 to 6 month old and what things worked for you. As I said, I also have a newborn version of this video, and I'll also be doing probably a 6 to 9 month old version as well. So make sure you hit like and subscribe to see that video when it comes out too. And if you are also a Christian parent, you might like this video all about how to take your baby to church. And we will see you next Saturday for a new video. Bye!